Tonight on Food Unwrapped, I'm finding out about a new way of lowering salt. There are a number of ways of lowering the salt content in a product, but I'm off to see a company that have introduced a novel approach.
Hi Jimmy, nice to meet you.
And you. I'm here to find out how you can reduce the salt in some of your products but still keep it tasting the same.
Well, that's great. If you come with me, I'll show you how we do it.
Great.
John Petrie, who's in charge of product innovation, has helped to reduce salt in 600 leading products.
Wow, this is a big factory.
It is a big factory.
But it's been a tricky process.
So what's so special about this one then?
Well, this is the new product that has 25% less salt.
So this one has reduced salt?
It does, yeah.
This all sounds a bit fishy. How can they possibly reduce the salt by 25% but not affect the taste?
So this is the dry mix. This is what makes it low salt.
That's right. So this is the pasta sauce that has the reduced salt ingredient in it.
So can I see the ingredient that makes it low salt?
Yeah, absolutely. We can come and have a look at that.
Brilliant.
This is the mixing station here where the guys weigh out all of the different ingredients.
So where is the product then? What product do you use to replace the salt?
Well, this is the ingredient that we use to replace the salt.
This one here?
This one, yeah, that's right.
Can I get a little bit with this?
Yeah, of course, yeah, have a look.
It's green. Shouldn't it be white like salt? Like, what is it?
That is seaweed.
Seaweed?
That's right.
I know it comes out the sea, so it's going to be salty, but it's a bit weird, isn't it?
It's actually really low in salt, surprisingly, and it has lots of healthy micronutrients in it, like iodine and iron. And what it seems to do is it boosts the other flavours. So as we reduce the salt, that would normally give a nice taste to the product, the seaweed allows us to reduce the salt and still deliver that really good flavours. The other flavours work much better combined with the seaweed.
That is bizarre, because I'm used to seeing seaweed washed up on the beach, but not as a dry powder like this.
It looks quite different now, doesn't it? Yeah.
And if you eat a lot of seaweed, it makes you a better swimmer.
This is where all the ingredients come and get mixed together, and then before they go anywhere else, we taste them.
Right, well, let's taste it.
Okay. So this is where we taste all the products from production.
This is your kitchen?
This is like a big kitchen, that's right.
Time to see if the seaweed is worth its salt.
So in here, this is the sauce made with the seaweed?
That's right.
Right, it's not going to turn me into a mermaid, is it?
You try it, see what you think.
You're not getting any of those seaweed flavour tones, but you are getting a saltiness that you'd associate with a dish like this.
Yeah, you get the savoury flavour, because what the seaweed's doing is boosting the flavour of the other ingredients. It's actually only there at a very low level.
Is it in all your products?
It isn't. Reducing salt's really complicated, and for most of the products we've done it by just gradually taking down the amount of salt without impacting the overall flavour. And in certain ones, like the cheese and broccoli, we needed to find an ingredient that would replace it.
Yeah.
Seaweed has allowed John to remove a quarter of the salt, but how does it compare to the original recipe?
So this is the product without seaweed.
That's right.
But as a result, it's got 25% more salt in.
Yeah. And as you can see, the flavour profile is very similar.
It's very similar. In fact, I know that sounds strange, but it's almost like you could do with a bit more salt.
I've flown to Stornoway on the Isle of Lewis, off the coast of northern Scotland, to meet a farmer who harvests seaweed in one of the most breathtaking locations.
He's the first seaweed farmer I've ever met. It all sounds a bit fishy. This looks like the place.
Martin MacLeod is the managing director of the Hebridean Seaweed Company.
Nice to meet you. How are you? Well, I'm down here to find out about your seaweed.
Okay.
Are you collecting just any seaweed that just washes up?
No, definitely not. We focus on a couple of species really for salt replacement.
What do you call this one?
A little bit of this. So this is Fucus vesicolosus.
Any common name?
Bladder rack is what they call it.
And so what's so special about the seaweed that grows here?
Well, the quality of the water, as you can see, and we have an abundance of many species.
So are you out here with your wellies every day collecting it off the beach?
No, we've developed a new way of harvesting it, which is much more sustainable, and it allows us to harvest large amounts in a very short space of time.
So you've got special harvesters?
So we've got special boats that can do it, yeah.
Right, can I have a go?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
These mechanical seaweed machines harvest in very shallow waters.
So the important thing for us is that we're trimming just a little bit off the top.
Right.
It allows you to more frequently harvest.
Right, so it's like cutting the lawn.
It's
the more
like
you
cutting
cut
the
it,
lawn.
the more
quicker
it
it
grows.
grows.
I see.
It's barely noticeable, the impact that we have on our loch.
Well, listen, can I have a go?
Yeah, no bother.
Okay, so that's forwards.
Forward, yeah.
So you put the scissors down and start cutting.
Put the head down, start cutting. That's Asco filaments.
This is the stuff we're going to cut and then further process.
Yeah.
Right, well, in you go.
A good harvester can deliver 15 tonnes of seaweed a day. That's half a tonne every 10 minutes.
We bring it and process it within 12 hours of us cutting it. It is in a bag and stable, ready for the customer.
Wow. That's pretty speedy.
That's as fast as you can do it, yeah.
The seaweed is then driven to the processing site, where I'm meeting Dr. Craig Rose.
Tell me, the seaweed comes in.
Yeah.
How do you turn that into something that you can use and sell?
So it goes through this drying process, which can take 3 to 4 hours to dry.
Can I see the finished product?
And so this comes out into this sieve.
So out here is all the chopped up dried seaweed.
This is the dry stuff that goes in the mill, and it's sieved into very specific sizes.
Research carried out by Craig's company and Sheffield Hallam University suggests that seaweed potentially has more benefits to the food industry.
As well as the flavour enhancing, it also extends shelf life. Here you can see they replaced 100% of the salt in bread, 50% of the salt, and then they had a control.
That's bread with normal salt.
That's just a normal bread with normal salt levels.
And this one here?
This is half salt, half seaweed.
And then this one here?
That's 100% replacement with the seaweed. So they were looking not just at the fact there was no mould growth here, but also the flavour.
So it does the job of salt in terms of preserving.
It is. It can do everything salt can do and much, much more.